Welcome back, everybody. And today we're going to be talking about Joe Abercrombie's The First Law just got a big, shiny Kickstarter. We're going to be talking new art, cloth-bound hardcovers, gold foil, signed and even personalized copies. Basically, a giant pop-up that says, hey, you like books, you like emotional damage, how about both? Today I want to do three things. Explain why the first law actually matters, not just grimdark cool, but genuinely important modern fantasy. I'm a big fan of the grimdark genre as a whole. This is very much a foundational piece in that genre. Also, we want to show how it became the spine of Abercrombie's whole universe and lay out how to buy that entire universe a bit cheaper than what you can find on the Kickstarter for everybody to enjoy. And then we're going to zoom out on this Lit Escalates Kickstarter and answer the real question. Is this a smart purchase, or are all we just cosplaying as responsible adults while backing another shiny thing? We're going to talk about what this edition actually is, why acid-free paper and stone binding are a big deal, and who this is actually for, and when you should grab the paperbacks and just chill. Let's start with the books before we roast our bank accounts. So, a quick orientation if you're new here. Strictly speaking, the first law is the original trilogy, which contains the blade itself, before they are hanged, and last argument of kings. They came out between 2006, 2008, right as fantasy was shifting from chosen one saves the world to deeply flawed people stumble through horrible decisions while the world laughs. People slap grimdark label on it, and yeah, it's violent. Nobody's a cinnamon roll, and the politics are just a flat out dumpster fire. But here's the thing. Lots of books are dark and stabby. Not many end up with standalones, short story collections, a second trilogy, constant reprints, and now a fancy Kickstarter. So what did this series do right? Um, it's characters first, not edge first. At its core, the first law is a character study wearing a dirty, blood-stained fantasy coat. You get Logan Nine Fingers, great character by the way, legendary barbarian trying to be better than his own body count. And then you got Sand, next hero, who crippled torturer with the best internal monologue in modern fantasy. Giselle, a smug golden boy who slowly realizes he's not in the heroic story he thought he was. Abercrombie doesn't just say they're morally gray and call it a day. And that rhymes. Ha 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 ha. Abercrombie that is, drags you inside their thought processes, lets you watch them self-justify, makes you root for them, then reminds you that you've done absolutely awful things. Or they've done absolutely awful things. You might have done some awful things yourself. You end up going, I hate you, I love you, I hate that I love you. Anyway, turn the page. That's not just grim, that's sharp character work. Um, Abercrombie's prose are ridiculously voicey. Short, punchy sentences, repeated internal refrains, dry, vicious humor right next to moments of horror. You'll be like, wow, that's horrifying. Followed by, okay, but that line was hilarious. Am I a bad human being? The answer to that is yes, you are a bad human being, but keep on reading. Followed by, what does that say about me? Just, yeah, keep reading. Just keep reading. That tonal whiplash, funny, then awful, then uncomfortably human, is a big reason the series dug its claws into the genre. We got big themes under all the stabbing. Beneath the violence, it's obsessed with institutions, the monarchy, the Inquisition, foreign empires. You got violence. It's physical cost and it's psychological cost. Usually you get one or the other. In this, you're going to get both. Um, Systems as villains, the machine is often worse than any individual. Wins in these books are complicated. What's a good example of a win? People succeed by becoming part of the machine or by selling pieces of themselves to survive, or both. So why a shiny Kickstarter in 2025? Because the first law became one of the defining texts of modern grimdark, a template for morally messy, politically charged fantasy that still reads fast and fun, that's the literary backbone under all the pretty foil. Um, Now let's zoom out a bit. When the fans say the first law world, they usually mean all of this, the core trilogy, the blade itself, before they are hanged, and the last argument of kings. Those are the three standalones, same world, but different angles. Best served cold is, well, if you're not into spoilers, this is not the video for you. Sorry. I should have gave a disclaimer earlier on, but we are where we are. So, the three standalones, best served cold, which is um, revenge, mercenaries, very Italian crime lords. The hero is basically one long campaign book about war and the poor souls in it. Red Country, a fantasy western dust and blood kind of thing. Um, then going on to the short story collection, Sharp Ends, stories from the world of the First Law, side stories, backstories, little knives to the heart. And then you got the follow-up trilogy, which is called The Age of Madness, which are A Little Hatred, The Trouble with Peace, and The Wisdom of Crowds. These later books crank the timeline forward into early industrialization, factories, unions, revolutions, new wars built on old mistakes. So when we say that First Law is the spine of Abercrombie's work, the original trilogy sets up the characters and problems, the standalones explore, well, the fallout and all the corners of the world. The Age of Madness trilogy shows what happens when history and technology move on, but bad decisions remain. Other works like the Shattered Sea Young Adult trilogy or The Devils are different worlds. First Law is, well, the main show. So, how do we buy the whole universe? Before we jump onto the Kickstarter, Kickstarter hardcovers that cost actual money, let's talk about the cheaper, smarter, civilian way to own this universe. To get the full First Law, you're going to want the First Law trilogy, the standalones, Best Served Cold, the Heroes, Red Country, the short story, which is Sharp Ends, and the Age of Madness trilogy. That's the whole thing. Um, Best bang for buck, new and matching, is the First Law trilogy paperback box set, and we're going to go ahead into screen share mode here. Share in the screen because that is the thing to do. Yeah. Yeah. We're waiting. There it is. Yay. Go away, large advertisement. Nobody likes you. So there you go, about 55 bucks. That free shipping. Man. Anyway. Um yeah, so the box set, the First Law trilogy, and don't worry, all these links are going to be down in the description later. So then we're going to go into Age of Madness, which is the paperback box set. And did I pull that up here? Yep, there it is. Another $51 and a quarter, which is okay because you're getting three books, not just one. And then you got the four individual paperbacks. We got Best Served Cold, which is this thing here, and Gigantic Ads Go Away. And next up, we're going to have the Heroes here, and ads go away, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then we're going to have Red Country, which is this thing. Only one ad here. And you're going to have Sharp's End, which is this paperback here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for how you're going to do it. All these are on bookshop.org. So you get the all the bookshop.orgs are going to be down in the description, so you can just click through instead of pausing and squinting at the URLs. If you buy both box sets plus the four standalones and short story, you're sitting around $197 US. That's the list price before tax and shipping. Bookshop.org usually knocks off a bit, so your real total will likely be somewhat lower, but that's going to put you in the ballpark. So for roughly under $200, you can own the entire First Law universe in paperback via bookshop.org, support indie bookstores, and call it a day. The Kickstarter, by contrast, you're really saying, No, no. I want the fancy spine trauma. So let's talk about the fancy option. Um, the Kickstarter is run by Lit Escalates in partnership with Orbit. Um, there has never been a proper, widely available US hardcover set of the First Law trilogy. Let's fix that and make it pretty. So instead of out of print book club hardcovers or 300 plus fine press editions, this is meant to be a nice, kind of mid tier special edition that normal humans like you and I can theoretically afford with some of the budgeting and perhaps one fewer takeout orders a week. Um, let's go ahead and click on over to Kickstarter. Well, good news is they're funded over double, triple here. Oh, look, numbers going up. That's always fun. They got 7,300 plus backers. They wanted 420,000. They're at $1.6 million. Woohoo. Um, but yeah, you're gonna get a blood red cloth bound hardcover, gold foil on the cover and spine, full wraparound dust jackets with new artwork, oil kind of like oil painting vibes, illustrated end papers, signed and personalized book plates from Joe Abercrombie himself. Um, so I am going to notate an important nuance. Joe is signing book plates, not the actual limitation page in the book. The collectible juice is concentrated in the signed, especially personalized tiers, not in a microscopic print run. So this isn't there'll only ever be 200 copies and then they'll vanish into the vault. It's more um, there is many personalized and signed sets. After that, you can get the pretty books, but no Joe scribble. So let's go ahead and peruse the Kickstarter a bit to look at some of the pretty things we're talking about. So we're gonna open that up. We're gonna open that up, and that, and that, and that, and that. And we're gonna try to make them a bit bigger for you guys to see. And that, I guess that. Ah, no, wrong click. And it's all whatever. Anyway, so let's look at the art images. Oh, it's in the corner. Big. Okay, so yeah, that's what it looks like. Pretty nifty looking. I like the dust jacket myself. So that's what the front cover is gonna kind of look like. Says Joe Abercrombie. Got the little gold gilt thing. I like the little ornations they got going on with the swords and all of that. That's nice. The crowns. Yeah, that's a cool image right there. Is it bigger? Haha. We got this over here. Nice little backdrop. And a little bit bigger. And this. Oh, look, Joe Scribble. Hi, Joe. I like your scribble. Okay, so let's head on back over to the Kickstarter here. Scroll on up. Whee! You guys can watch the counter tick up probably as I continue to go over things. So here's where book nerds like us went, oh. In one of the updates, Lit Escalate said they're working with the printer to upgrade the internals to acid-free paper and a sewn binding. That's just not cosmetics. That's pretty much will this thing ever survive a reread territory? Those things are actually critically important to books. Um, I have spoken that I've worked in the book publishing industry, and all of our hardcovers, they're always sewn binding and always acid-free paper. It's kind of because they were meant to be played with, read with, and as well as stored on your bookshelf. But we needed them to hold up, so that's kind of what you need here. Unless you're just wanting to slide them on your shelves, then cross your fingers and good luck. Um, so acid-free paper. It yellows slower, it stays flexible longer, and is less likely to turn into crunchy toast in 10 to 20 years. If you want this to be your I will own this until they pry it from my cold hands set, that matters. Similar in sewn binding, we got basically it's stitched signature to pages, it's more durable, tends to open and lay flatter, and it's less likely to explode if you read the same chapter 19 times. It's not the same as ultra fancy fine press, but it is a big upgrade over cheap glued paperbacks. The catch, and the thing you really need to pay attention to, as of the filming of this, the video you're watching now, the acid-free paper and sewn binding are things that they're actively trying to lock in with the printer. It's not guaranteed, and it's not a sign and blood promise. But they are trying. They realized, oh, we forgot something important, kind of after they launched, and now they're trying to scramble and get things figured out. So that is a plus that they're trying. So I'll give them credit there. So you're going to treat the current Promise Edition as cloth-bound foiled hardcovers, wraparound dust jackets, illustrated end papers, signed personalized bookplates. And then file the acid-free paper plus sewn binding under amazing bonus if they pull it off. If they succeed, the edition jumps up a tier in quality, honestly. If they don't, you still have a very pretty signed special edition, but the durability and forever copy factor isn't as high. So, time for the uncomfortable part. Is this actually a good idea for you? Let's break it down by archetype. If you're a first-time reader, if you've never read the first law and you're wondering, should I start with the Kickstarter? I love you, but no, don't do it. If you're just trying to figure out, do I even like this man's level of cynicism and tendon damage, then grab the paperbacks at the bookshop.org links I gave or borrow from a library, snag the ebook or audiobook. Find out if you like the world first for 15 to 30 bucks instead of dropping serious cash and hoping your tastes cooperate. The Kickstarter is not an entry-level decision, it's a commitment. Reader who wants one really nice set, if you already know you like Abercrombie or you strongly suspect you will, and you're the kind of person who rereads favorites, likes books as objects, and wants one forever or a certain set of the series, then the Kickstarter becomes interesting at least. So, the questions you need to ask yourself: do I want the first law to be on one of my fancy shelf series? Do I like the specific art direction enough to look at it for 20 plus years? Does the prospect of acid-free paper plus somebody make this feel like a genuinely better reading copy, not just as display? If the answer is yes, then yeah, this can absolutely be your I'm keeping this till I die set. If the answer is I mostly just want to try the books, go paperback. The audience for this is pretty much your mid-tier collector. And you know you're a mid-tier collector if you like special editions, maybe own some Subterranean, Broken Bindings, Illumicrate stuff, but your wall bursts into flames at the idea of $400 plus per book letterpress. For you, this edition offers matching special edition trilogy for Cornerstone series, signed or personalized bookplate from Joe, strong visual design, and potentially upgraded internals that mean you can actually read these from without fear. So your decision's basically, does the all-in cost, books plus shipping plus maybe customs, feel fair compared to buying the entire universe in paperbacks via the links or borrowing from your library, hunting down old limiteds on the resale market? If your answer is fine press is out of reach, but this feels doable for a beloved series, then yeah, this Kickstarter was meant for you. So if you're the high-end collector, you already have the Subterranean or other fine press first law editions, numbered in letter runs, leather gilding, and the works. This is less about the need and more about the want. You're not upgrading quality so much as adding a different flavor or nice addition and or showing support for a new project. Just be honest with yourself that this is really nice to have, not my one chance at a premium first law set. So if you're the higher end collector, again, you're just kind of supporting Joe at that point, and that's your call. So what's the fear of missing out check on this? Self-test before you think about backing. If this weren't limited, would I still want it at that price? If this is a feeling of a real gap, like I don't own any nice first law hardcovers, or is it just shiny? Will I actually read from this set, or is this pure display? There are no real wrong answers, but your credit card would appreciate honesty. Be honest with your credit card. Um, so the big picture. The first law helped define modern grimdark and low fantasy, morally compromised people, rotten systems, sharp humor, real consequences. It's the spine of the Abercrombie's main universe, original trilogy, standalone short stories, industrial revolution, chaos, and the age of madness. If you like character driven, morally messy, darkly funny fantasy with something to say about power, it's absolutely worth your time. The Kickstarter. It does try to give us a genuinely nice, accessible US hardcover set. Offers cloth, foil, illustrated end papers, and signed personalized bookplates. It's actively trying to secure acid-free paper and sewn binding, which would turn this into a very solid long-term reading set, not just a pretty object. Whether you back it depends on who you are. If you're, again, new to Abercrombie, start with the paperbacks. Use the link I'm putting down in the description. Save your money for now. If you're a reader wanting a forever copy, this could absolutely be that copy, especially if the internal upgrades land. But that's the key thing. They got to land first because right now they don't exist. If you're a mid-tier collector, you're pretty much this is for you for the mid-tier collecting. High-end collector with multiple limited editions already, fun extra, but not a moral obligation. And again, you're kind of again just supporting Joe, which is fine. Um, One thing only: Kickstarters or full universe and paperback is the big question. If you're never read him, paperback's 100%. If you already know you love him and want special set, then think about the Kickstarter. Are book plates worse than the signing page? I mean, it depends on your personal neurosis level, I guess. Some collectors insist on signatures in the book, others are fine with a nicely designed plate, especially when the alternative is no signature at all. Should I wait for the retail instead of backing? If a retail version happens, expect fewer bells and whistles, very likely no personalization, and possibly no signature. If the sign personalization aspect matters to you, I mean, this Kickstarter is your safer bet. So now I want to hear from you guys. I've been talking for a little bit here. Did you back the Kickstarter? Why or why not? Are you team one perfect hardcover set or team paperbacks and rent money? And if you're new to Abercrombie, where are you starting? The blade itself, best served cold, or a little hatred? Drop your answers down in the comments. I'm genuinely curious how readers, collectors, and I'm trying to be financially responsible this year people are all thinking about this one. If you found this helpful, hit the like, subscribe for more deep dives and special editions and chaotic fantasy universes. And check the description for the bookshop.org links, the Kickstarter link, and I do have a Patreon, people. It does exist. We're starting a book club in January. If you've been watching this video to the end, you're pretty much on board already. You just need to go on over there. That link will also be in the description. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me and with Lord Grimdark today. And may your shelves stay sturdy, your bindings stay sewn, and TBR stay only moderately unhinged. And keep on. Wait, we're gonna end the screen share for this. Booking on. And yeah, we're gonna end it here.